Creative retirement strategies through creative financing, real estate. This is week number 23, day number 2, week 23, day 2. And from this point forward, we are going to be heavily focusing the channel and the rest of the videos on the creative ways that I am finding to speed up my retirement. I have over 20 years still before hitting 62, 63, 64. I think that's when people retire. I've been doing some research. I am not a financial advisor. I am just documenting my plans, what I'm working on, and I'm sharing it with you. And hopefully what I am doing will help you. And even more, hopefully, I am doing this also so that we can perhaps network and work on this together, so that by the time we are of retirement age, we can have the power of real estate and creative real estate retire us, so that we don't have to keep going on the rat race. So I have been doing even more research as to how to present some of the stuff I already know through creative real estate. And I wanted to study some things to help me get across to you guys in a very easy way how we could do this. But take a 62-year-old person who wants to retire, but they don't have time, and they don't want to go into real estate and start from scratch. So how can you start really fast? Well, that is pretty much the essence of this channel. The essence of this channel is, by the way, this is live. I'm recording it live. I'm not editing it. I am not doing anything to hype it up and do a bunch of clickbait and stuff like that. I am not into that. I just make sure that you guys are seeing what I'm doing, and hopefully you can benefit from it. Listen to phone calls I'm making. I'm talking to sellers. That is the secret sauce. The secret sauce is, how can we get a property? How can we get access to a property that where the seller is willing to finance the deal for us, so that we don't have to go to a bank and get approval from a bank and get a loan and get a mortgage from a bank. We just tell the seller, hey, how about I upgrade you to being the banker, and from there, they finance the property, so that if we're spending $10,000 for a down payment, maybe $20,000 for a down payment, that allows us to buy a property that is, say, $500,000, maybe $300,000. Let's be realistic. So let's take a better example, $50,000 down payment, just for the sake of simple numbers, simple math. $50,000 allows you to buy a property, $500,000. That is not my goal, but I'm just giving you an example. My goal is to buy it with nothing down. Zero down, and just even deferred payments. But let's just say our goal is 50,000 down, and then 450,000 is financed, right? That is a fantastic deal in my opinion, because you invested $50,000 and you got a $500,000 asset. Now, here's the question. If you take the traditional approach, or in my case, I looked at that and I'm like, well, this allows me to buy a $500,000 asset with 50 grand. So that means I don't have to work, 20, 30, 40 years to build up, $500,000. And then if I did that, let's just say 10 times, then I would have to have $500,000. But now I would own nearly $5 million worth of real estate, right? So what if, so that'd be 10 properties, right? With these down payments. So if I had $1 million, then that would be 20 properties. So let's keep the 10, and let's say the average cash flow from each one after paying the debt service, paying the seller, right? And whatever other expenses. So the pure cash flow, that is the net after all expenses and, saving for rainy days and management and all of that stuff. I net, let's say $500. So let's keep it 555. So 50,000 down, buying a $500,000 property, $500 net cash flow every month. That right there, me personally, I think, I try to live frugally. I have kids and stuff, so I just try to be comfortable. So to me, $500 times 10 properties, that is 5,000 a month. And of course, as time goes by, I will increase rent and all that. So to me, $5,000 is a lot of money. But keep in mind, I am not the type, like my car, for example. My car is a 2014, year 2014. So it's nearly, no, I'm sorry, 2004. So that is a near 20-year car. It still drives, the air conditioning still works. I just try to keep it nice and maintain it well. I don't drive it a lot because I don't commute to work every day. So it is a great car. It's got leather seats. I mean, it's nice. A 2004 Jaguar. And it's still a nice car when other people get in and they're like, oh man, this is a nice car and stuff. So it's still nice. It's paid for. I don't have a loan on that car. I bought it, I don't know, like 7 years ago, maybe 8 years ago. And it's still a beautiful car. So in my opinion, it needs a paint job. Not that it's too bad, but I would like it to look kind of new, but it's not necessary, right? It has a few things that, they're not like there used to be. There's a little rattling, but I took it to the mechanic. They're like, oh, it's no big deal. It's just the age of the car, stuff like that. But it's still great. I'm not buying, I don't have any plans on buying a new car. I was looking that way because my car is down there. So I'm looking that way. So I don't have any plans on buying a new car. So I have no car expenses. I have no housing expenses right now because I live in an investment that everything has been paid for and stuff. And so I have none of that. So my personal opinion is, what do I need $5,000 to spend on? What? I can't even see that, So just spend time with my kids and that type of stuff. So to me, $5,000 is a lot of money, and I don't spend $5,000. I spend probably like 25, maybe 3,000 a month. Because I try to keep things very frugal. I've been like that for many years, because I'd rather put my money back to work, and it takes me to the next point. So if I keep $2,000 a month, then I put that right back into a property. So to wrap that portion up, 50,000 allows me to buy a $500,000 investment, which in turn can pay me $500 a month. I think, to me, that I look at those numbers and that is great. And that is called creative real estate financing, where we come up with creative solutions to buy these properties. And that's what I do. It has taken me a lot of years to learn certain things, made mistakes and things of that nature, but pretty much I have gotten enough experience now that I can buy a property pretty often to keep building my portfolio. And like I said, I have about 25 years before I am in retirement age. So I can keep doing this for 25 years, and who knows where I'll be then. I may be dead. And that's the point of this stuff, where I don't, I rejected the idea that I would go to school until like my 30s or something, to get the best degrees. And then I worked for 20, 30 years, and then I'd reach the age of 62, and then I could retire. So that is like an entire lifetime, in my opinion, brainwashed that you can't do anything different. I retired 10, 15 years ago, something like, no, 10 years ago, went into the military. And because I was retired, I didn't need the income from the military, right? So, you know, I think that that is a much better quality of life, to where you're not looking at 62 and then thinking, oh, I can't wait to be 62, then I'll retire. But you can't. I don't know. I mean, it's a debate that people have, but it's not for me. It was not for me. I don't want to live like that. So in this channel, we are always talking about creative retirement strategies in purchasing real estate through creative financing, so that people's equities, people's properties can pay for our retirement. That's the whole point. How can I use other people's assets? I mean, people talk about OPM, other people's money. And yeah, you could do that. You can borrow money from people and stuff. I mean, it's a great strategy, but in my opinion, other people's assets, OPA, right? How can I use other people's assets to allow me to retire? How can I buy assets that put money in my pocket, and I can put money in the pocket of my seller, right? And then use that asset to retire, right? And so I do one asset, then another, then another, then another, and I make hundreds of phone calls all the time to find those assets. Now, last video we talked about taxes in Tom Wheelwright, and in that book, Tom Wheelwright talks about how people go and drive miles and miles and miles to go buy something at a discount that becomes a liability. So a liability is something that takes money out of your pocket. An asset is something that puts money in your pocket. So when we look at it that way, I'm thinking I'm just going to spend all my day, right now my kids are with my wife, the pool. I just spent some time this morning with them. I'm going to take a few hours right now to look for more assets. I'm teaching that to my children. So it's just a much better quality of life, in my opinion, than working forever, never seeing my kids. My kids grew up, and then now I have grandkids, and I never see anybody because I was working the whole time until I was age 62. I refuse to do that. I'm rebelling against that, rebellious person against the system, because I don't want that. And I have a lot of military buddies that, I can think of one, Kyle. He was in the military with me. We came into boot camp in Illinois, and he got out of the Navy. I think after 8 years. I told him, I invited him, hey, look, come do real estate with me. He said, well, no, I don't understand it, blah, blah. I'd rather, go to work. He got a job at the post office, and he delivers mail. And I said, what's your strategy? And he says, well, I'm just going to work until, I can draw Social Security, and I have a 401k IRA. And I said, well, you could do all of that. That's great. But why not buy real estate on the side to speed up that process? No, I don't understand it and stuff. So I commend you for being here and sort of watching this live training so that you can go ahead and speed up your retirement. You can be, 50 and have nothing saved for retirement. this strategy, creative real estate, creative retirement strategies can speed up your retirement in like no time. So that's what they've done. I continue to do that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to call and find other people's assets that will allow us to retire fast. I got my handy dandy pen. I'm going to make a note here to put notes on the video for you guys. Some resources about other people's assets so that you can kind of get the gist and get the ball rolling so that you can do the same thing. I am not looking for a certain amount a month. I am just acquiring assets. That's it. It's just my hobby. I'm not looking. I know a lot of people, they're so focused on how much they want to make per month and how much they want to have by the time they retire. I don't do that. I just make a habit of asking people, looking for assets that will be added to my retirement income. That's all we do. So that's what we're going to start doing right now. Let me set up have a dialer that I'm setting up now so that we can start calling. And since this is a live recording, I'm not editing it at all. Go ahead and type your questions below and tell me. I mean, you tell me what you think. While you're doing that, go ahead and give me a like, a subscribe, so that I can help other people and get the message out. I know there's a lot of people out there teaching wholesaling and flipping and stuff like that. I will strongly advise you against it, because that asset doesn't stay in your portfolio. That's it. Well, Ben, but it creates income so you can buy other properties that can be added to your portfolio. That's great. You know, I've done that many times. But you know, the problem is that there's laws. I was reading this morning that they're passing, like, for example, Maryland, they're passing a law where you cannot take an assignment at all. You cannot get paid at all from a transaction. No assignment fee, no double closing, none of that stuff. They're banning it in Maryland, and that bill is very close to getting passed. So, not so if you buy it to keep it and get the cash flow. So, you know, stick around. Let's make some phone calls here, and let's make sure that we are acquiring assets. So, and such laws are getting passed in more states. Illinois is looking at it. There are some cities here in Florida, they're looking at it. I keep up with that stuff because I'm in the business, you know, but wholesaling has become, rightly so in my opinion, because there's so many bad apples out there. There's so many videos. Anybody can make a video about how to wholesale houses and sell a little course and stuff and make a ton of money, which I don't have a course to sell you. I only have the catch to my videos is that we partner together and we buy assets together. So let's buy assets together. Let's link up, team up, so that we can do this faster. I understand that I have to leverage people, and you need to understand that you need to leverage people. So let's link up and do things together. So that we can move this faster. So the question is, how can I retire faster? Link up with people and do deals together with people. That's how. You know, I don't buy anything from the MLS, anything that's listed. Well, I try not to. because I want to deal directly with the owner and negotiate. Once an agent is involved, they want to sell it for higher than it's reasonable most of the time because they want a big commission, which I understand, no problem, but it's just not advantageous to me. Okay, so let's begin calling here.
Hi, this is Joyce. I'm sorry I missed your call. Please leave your name and a message, and I'll get back with you right away.
Okay, no one answered. Let's move on to the next. Sold. Okay. This one sold, so we can't do anything. Train tie.
Please leave your message for 26.
Okay. No answer. Let's go on to the next. Says no address.
Kevin Carroll.
Hello, Kevin. This is Ben. I am reaching back out to you. I think you had reached out to us with the intention of selling a property, but I don't have the address. All I have is your name and phone number.
Ken, I'm pretty sure I did not reach out to you about selling the property.
Okay. Okay. Well, I apologize. Thank you.
Well, hang on. Sure. I think the reason you called me, I work for the city of Minneapolis, and my personal cell phone number is on a portion of the city's website. I do grant-related work, and I put my cell phone number in there so people could contact me. Somehow, through some type of search features that realtors use, my phone number has become associated with every property in the city of Minneapolis that's actually owned by the city of Minneapolis.
Oh, wow.
But I don't personally have any ownership interest in these properties, and I have nothing to do with whatever the city plans to do with them. Some are held for redevelopment, some are sold to private purchasers, etc. But I'm not involved in that at all. So I'm guessing you're a real estate speculator of some kind, right?
That is a funny way to put it. No, I don't like speculators of any kind. No, I am just a regular guy. I was in the Navy for a long time, got out recently, and just looking for some properties to purchase and keep.
Yeah. So how did you get my phone number and my name?
Like I said, all I have is your name and phone number. I have an assistant that helps me. So probably my assistant went into some public record and maybe, like you said, found you right there.
Okay. Yeah. So are you looking for a house for yourself, or are you looking for a house for investment purposes?
For investment purposes. However, no flips. Okay. I don't flip. I don't do all this brokerage stuff. Just long term, buy it and keep it for forever type stuff.
Yeah. Well, if you can talk to whoever your assistant is and tell him or her that if they come across any other city of Minneapolis property, that if your records indicate that it's owned by the city, I'm not the person to contact. And if your records indicate that I, Kevin Carroll, am the owner of the property, that's not the case. So put my name on a posted note or whatever, because I get 3 or 4 calls a week from people wanting to buy properties from me that I don't own.
Yeah, no. I understand that. However, what I'd like for you to understand, and I just noted it here. I want you to understand that it is not me or my assistant that calls you every day, about this. This is the first time that I've called. And when you spoke to my assistant, that was actually it was a voicemail that they called you. That was back in April 2022. So it was a long time. So we're not like calling you all the time.
Yeah, I didn't mean to imply that. I've gotten calls from dozens of different realtors, prospective realtors, flippers, investors, corporate entities. I get called all the time by lots of different parties. So I just want to make sure that you are one of the parties that doesn't call me anymore. Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of work. I can see how you can be frustrated about this, Kevin. And listen, again, I apologize. I didn't know
That's
that.
all right. It's nothing personal. I have, within the last couple of weeks, I have finally revised the city's website to take my cell phone number out. So eventually, I think these calls will start diminishing. But well, good luck. And if there is some property that's owned by the city, I suggest you call 311, which is the City of Minneapolis general information number, and tell them you're interested in a certain property. Give them a street address. They will transfer you to whichever city staff member handles the ownership or management of that property.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you for taking the time to explain all that to me. And listen, you have a great day. And all the best to you, sir.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye. He is the city of Okay, move to dead. But like that, you network with a ton of people when you make phone calls as well. So that's good. This one is sold. Okay.
You have reached Larry Energy. I am sorry that
So not focusing on flips and on wholesaling allows us to also be truthful when we talk to these sellers, because a lot of them had, the market has become so savvy these wholesalers and flippers that when you speak to them, they kind of corner you and tell you, hey, I know what you're doing. You're trying to buy it and sell it, buying it cheap and sell it and stuff like that, and what are you going to say if you're a wholesaler? No, I'm not doing that. Then you'll be lying, right? So, but if your strategy is just to buy and keep them, then you can say what I said, my strategy is to buy them and keep them forever. Just what I told him. So it allows you to be truthful, allows you to get along with people because it's a cutthroat business. And, cutthroat business. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, so this is sold right here. Okay. I hope you guys can hear that ring when they pick up. I'll get it closer to the speaker here. Okay, nothing here. Okay, here is Washington State property.
But the person you called has a voicemail box that has not been set up yet.
This one sold. Okay. So yeah, that's what we do every single day. We do that. This is like my job, I'm not advocating you shouldn't work. I know there's a lot of people that say, hey, retire early and don't do anything for the rest of your life. Well, I didn't do anything for 2 years and I regret it because I had to restart everything. I retired and then it's like how many I went to Cancun, and stuff like that. I went to Europe and everything else. And I traveled to, all throughout the United States. We did so many things. Like I traveled everywhere. And like 2-3 years later, I was actually 4 years of doing that. Like we got an RV, went all over Florida, that type of stuff. Because we just wanted to see every beach in Florida, every beautiful place here. And guess what? My health was not so good. Why? Because I was eating out all the time. It was crazy. It was dumb, like I think that humans, we are created to work. However, we're not created to work for somebody else. I don't believe that. I think that we're created to work on our own business. So that, I retired from retirement. Not a whole lot of people talk about that. I had to leave that lifestyle. I wanted to get back to work. I missed getting up in the mornings and having like a day ahead of me. So there's a sweet spot where you stay busy and you do good work and hard work, but you can stop it at any time. I think that's the sweet spot, is like you're working hard, you're constantly thinking, your brain is constantly thinking, how can I do this better? Like that's why I started a YouTube channel, because it's teaching me how to interact with people online, all that kind of stuff. And you're working hard, negotiating with sellers, just putting your brain to work, and work hard. Like I don't work with my hands, but and if I'm not going to work with my hands, I used to before, and I got out of it because I wanted to work with my brain. And so if I was not going to work hard with my hands, which that is why I work out, so that, to keep the physical thing going, I was going to work hard with my head. And so I'm constantly thinking, constantly trying to innovate different things and stuff. However, I can stop it at any time. And if I want to take a week vacation, I can, right? If I want to take a month vacation, I can. However, past a month, I mean, what do you do? Like, I don't understand. I don't get why people advocate out there, oh, retire so that you can go sit at the beach for the rest of your life. The beach becomes more enjoyable if you work really hard for a while. Then you go to the beach and you sit there for a week or whatnot, and then you get your fill and you get recharged to get back to work. Maybe I'm different. I don't know. Maybe people, I don't know. I just found that it was extremely boring to retire. And I retired in my 20s, right? So it was just boring stuff. And then, it gives you time to do stuff you shouldn't be doing either. So work hard is good for us. We're created to work, in my opinion. Well, it's not just my opinion. It's, I read the Bible. That's what I read on there too. So, I'm not advocating anybody stop working. I think you should work really hard, but work on getting properties. That's what I advocate. Build your retirement like that. So no one is answering right now, so we'll see. I'm talking to you as I make phone calls here. Just another reason why I started the YouTube channel. I didn't just want to sit here by myself. I appreciate you keeping me company. This sold. Okay, let's see. No answer. So work very hard, but do what you love. I love the transaction part of real estate. I don't specifically love the phone calls, but I do love the negotiating. So you got to do certain things you don't like to get to do the things that you do like, in my opinion. So find what you love, do it. You know, I also love, spending time with my kids and working hard with them alongside me. That's what I do like as well. So today, I am very grateful that I get to do everything that I love. I don't have to work. I don't have to be here. I do it because it's good for me. It keeps me busy. It keeps me sharp, as much as possible. Not that I'm that sharp. I have below average intelligence, in my opinion. So if you have a little bit more intelligence than me, I think you're going to do very well. Okay. Across, let's see here. Sold. Okay. Okay. Okay, so these properties are difficult because we have deemed them dead. So I'm not going to get quality phone calls out of these. But in a little bit, I will show you good leads to talk to. I don't want you discouraged, but I do want you to see the things that are hard so they don't surprise you. And you can't avoid these things if you want to be in real estate. Okay. Minnesota, let's see here. I don't think it has sold. $19.92.
Hello.
Hey, good morning, Suzanne. How are you? This is Ben.
Who are you?
My name is Ben. You had spoken to my assistant about your property on Manning Avenue.
Okay.
Yeah, just wanted to give you a call back and see if you were still planning on moving forward and selling it.
I am still in the process of working towards that, yes.
Okay. So what kind of time frame are we talking about?
Well, the current renters are in until the end of April. As of this time, we extended their move-out date due to winter coming a little earlier than expected.
Okay.
And so timing, they want to try to be able to get as much of their personal belongings off the property as possible, and a little difficult to do with the amount of snow we've gotten. So
Yeah, it's been kind of rough lately.
and it came early. It came the very end of November, which
Yeah.
I mean, a little snow the end of November is normal, not a foot in a couple of days.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. Well, I totally understand that. You kind of have to work with the weather and stuff like that. So we can, April. That's fine. As far as like the arrangement price and so forth, what were you thinking you might want to sell it for?
It truly depends on what we decide to do once they move out and what the original plan was to sell it as is.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, and
Possibly on a contract for deed or possibly on some other or a cash sale.
Mhm.
I'm torn. Capital gains is one of those things I really don't want to
yeah,
have to pay all at once, and yet at the same time, I don't owe anything on the property, and so
mhm,
it's not like I wouldn't have. And I could potentially find something else to
yeah,
purchase within the time frame and work
Mhm.
on some kind of a different way to use those funds so that I don't have to pay those capital gains.
yeah,
That remains to be seen.
yeah. Well, it sounds like you have a ton of experience in doing this. Are you a full-time investor?
I am not. This home was my home originally with my late husband, and
Oh,
at the time that he passed away, my brother and I decided that the market had tanked, and so
yeah,
it was a better option to rent at that time.
yeah.
I'm not in the business of investing or flipping. I know
Mhm.
that capital gains wise, I would rather not pay those
Yeah,
taxes.
yeah,
And so I know there are ways around
yeah,
that, such as buying another property that would be used as a rental property.
yeah,
Whether I rent it to my son and his friends, or
yeah, yeah,
I would have a little better comfort level renting it to someone that I know who wouldn't want to. And I've had the same renters in the house for 14 years, so it's taken a beating.
I gotcha. Yeah, hmm, yeah,
So, but we have recently replaced the water heater,
mhm,
stove, and dishwasher. I'm trying to think what else.
mhm.
A couple of years ago, a new well pump went in. Furnace went in about 6 years ago.
Oh,
So,
okay.
there's certain things that there's a lot that it requires.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I can totally get that. I've been doing that. I used to flip houses years and years ago, but like you said, those capital gains and all the other hidden taxes and all this kind of stuff, they really creep up on you. And when I started seeing that and it became a problem, I'm like, man, I have to, do something different. And so I just became more or less buy it and hold it. And typically, you are right when have a seller that's going to pay a big hit on capital gains. I love helping that way with a contract for deed or something like that, like you mentioned, because it is beneficial, and I'm able to pay you more as well when we do that. So I'm glad that you're contemplating all of the options, and I'd love to see if we can give it some thought together. I know you won't do anything until April, so we have a few months here to come up with a good strategy.
Yes, and depending on how quickly things melt, it's probably
Yeah.
the good thing about the fast snow. The ground did not freeze,
Oh, okay.
and so as far as that goes, it could be beneficial that all the snow as it melts soaks into the ground. You certainly can use it, but
Yeah.
I know I've watched dogs digging holes, and this is how I know the ground did not freeze.
You have dogs?
I do not, but there are plenty of them around my neighborhood, and
Gotcha.
I also follow a dog rescue. And
Oh,
there's one dog she has that dug a hole, at least 3 feet deep.
oh my goodness! Wow, wow.
Through the snow, and then kept going.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So,
It's amazing. I joke with my wife about that. You know, one time because you know we find little stories like that because we have young kids. You know, and so they're, as you know, young kids always talk about animals and things like that. You know, and so it's just so funny whenever you see a dog, they dig a ditch for like no reason. You know, they're just digging and digging and digging, no
it's
reason.
just because they smell something, and that's because this dog that does this is a blind and deaf dog.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah.
And oh my gosh, she just digs because I don't know, she likes to get dirty, and
It's the funniest
Yeah.
thing. The funniest thing.
but yeah, I mean, she dug a hole as big as she is.
Yeah, can hide in it pretty easily, huh? Oh, well, that's funny. That's funny. Well, yeah, I mean, let's see what happens with the snow and everything, Suzanne, and let's kind of, you know, if you're
Yep,
okay
but
with
we
it.
can definitely be in contact. I believe we spoke. I'm thinking this is you. We spoke about a contract for deed
Mhm.
possibility maybe in November,
Yes, yes.
and front loading that contract, like the interest front loading that.
Yeah, yeah.
Wasn't that
hmm
okay?
Yes.
I just want to make sure I'm talking to the same person and thinking.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
notes are in the other room.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. Yes, we talked about that. And, you know, I'm a firm believer in you know, keeping notes and stuff because you got to stay organized. So I'm looking here at my notes too, and so that was the conversation. The problem sometimes is that you make so many notes. I stop taking notes on a piece of paper because I lose it.
Well, and the thing is what's in front of me now. I have my work notebook, so you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You have
Is
to go and
this
find it.
your best phone number, by the way?
Yeah, this is it. Yes, 612
Okay.
354.
And Ben, what is your last name?
Marks, Marks.
Okay. I'm actually going to put a big note on this.
Awesome. I feel special.
Well, I'll move it to my other notes, but
No
at
problem.
least I'm sure I have most of this information written down elsewhere, but you know,
Yes, ma'am.
Um,
Yes, ma'am.
in my other notebooks,
Yeah.
my not work notes. That's what I have. There's the working from home too. Is
Yeah.
I try to have my work things in my workspace and my
Mhm.
other things in my other space. So
Yeah. Staying organized. You know, I used to order those big legal pads, notepads from Amazon. I would order like boxes, but then, you know, I got used to like writing on that, and then I lost something that was really important one time, and I'm like, man, that's it. I have to figure out a way to keep it on the computer. So I'm still in that transition because you know, take so many notes of everything, and then you don't know where that you put them.
right.
Yeah, I know the struggle.
Well, my computer is not always on and not always in front of me. My work computer, I don't want to put those kind of notes on it. So
That's right.
all those things.
Oh, the struggle, that's for sure. Well, it's been a pleasure catching up with you, Suzanne. You know, you got my phone number there. You can text me at any time. I can also, after the call, if it's okay, I can also text you, send you kind of like a little bit of my info and stuff like that, so that way you have email and so forth.
That would be great. I appreciate it. I'll
Okay.
add you to my contacts. Then it won't show up as unknown.
Yes, ma'am. You got it. You got it.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Suzanne. We'll talk later, okay?
All right. Sounds good.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thanks. We spent an hour on the phones. And look, she brought it up, a contract for deed for, if you are not familiar with that, is a seller finance deal. She brought it up. And we had marked it here on the CRM as a dead lead. It was dead, like we said, it's dead. We don't want to mess with it. So I go through the dead leads to make sure that they're really dead. And guess what? This is not dead. Oh, brother. So this is great. Property is the value of it could be 450 or something here. Let me do these notes so I can see the estimate. She brought up contract for deed, but I think we had chatted about it before. Let's see, move to warm. Okay. So moved to warm. Let's see here. She does not want, well, let me do that in a second. Ink. Contract for D. You can take advantage of previous conversation. They did. She sounds really young, don't you guys think? She does not want to pay capital gains and doesn't want to think about fixing it because there's a lot of deferred maintenance. Okay. I just spelled deferred. Okay, let me see. Deferred. Okay. However, she has to wait. She has to wait until the lease is up in April and the snow melts. She would appreciate texting her and keeping in touch. Okay, so I'm going to send her a text now. And do this here. Okay, I'm gonna send her a text now, but yeah, that was a fantastic conversation, don't you guys think? Okay, so I just created a little bit of a sequence here so I can reach out to her. Let's see. Hello, Susan. This is my personal line. Please feel free to reach me at any time. Bam. And then my email. gmail.com. Okay. Let's say it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure catching with you today. Big Tom. Okay. All right, so it's good. Okay, thanks for the response. Okay. Okay, so sending this to her. Okay, so we are good to go here. Fantastic. So yeah, that was a fantastic phone call. And I was going to leave it right there, but I want to show you how we make some phone calls, some cold calls, which are the hardest, absolute hardest to make. It feels like it's a bunch of wasted time. So I still need to show you that so that you can get the hang of it and kind of see how we can handle that as well. So I'm going to do that right now. Just have to log into this dialer. But like I said, we spent like an hour before getting anyone interested. And then all of a sudden, boom, like she is willing to sell her finance. And when somebody's willing to sell her finance, they're not giving you, I'm not asking for their equity. They can have everything. I don't want equity I don't want to take away from their equity. If we do, of course it's great, but I don't want to take from it if I don't have to. So because I'm going to hold it, over time, think of it like a baton that goes from one older person to a younger person. And over the lifetime of the younger person is where the rest of the equity is, where my profit is. She can have her equity, but I can also have my equity, right? So that is why I like doing that, because let me see if I call multifamily properties here. No, let's do Orlando pre-foreclosure. So she can make her money and I can make my money, and there is no problem on either side, because the tenant will put another tenant in that property, and that tenant is paying for that equity. That is how it works. That's why we're investors. So, okay, so this I started the dialer, making cold calls. It's making 3 calls at the same time. The first one that picks up, the other 2 go away, and I talk to the one. Very similar to Mojo Dialer, but this one is called Smartphone Studio. So let's see. So I am happy with the results of today, but let's see if we can get somebody else. It's dialing still. Okay.
This mailbox is not currently accepting messages because voicemail has not yet been activated. Please try your call again later. Este buzón de correo no acepta mensajes de
Okay. Let's go on to somebody else. Okay.
Welcome to Orange County 311 call center. If this is an emergency, please hang up and dial 911. Para más información.
Okay, so I hope you can hear it. It's just getting a bunch of voicemails and wrong numbers and all this kind of stuff. That's how it goes with cold calls. So not to be worried about this. That's just typical stuff that we go through here. So let me see here. Yeah, like I said, this is a live training. Most people on YouTube, they make very small videos and give you like 2 steps to do this, 2 steps to retire, 7 steps to retire like this and stuff like that. I love those videos. I'm not going to lie. However, I want you to see what I really, what goes into it. I want you to see behind the curtain. And that's why I'm showing you these cold calls right now, so that you can kind of see.
Please leave your message for 40.
You can kind of see how that works. Okay. So I'm checking. It reflects on my CRM. So on my CRM, it tells me the calls that I'm making and stuff like that. So, all right. Hello? Hello? Roslyn? They hung up.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system. 3.
Hello? Hello? Yeah, may I speak to Elliot, please?
One moment.
Thanks.
Sí, dígame.
Yes, yes. Hello. Yes, this is Ben. How are you?
Oh, good.
Yes, yes, this is Benny.
Ah, yes, what
Yeah.
happened?
I was calling you about your property there. I found you on the public records. Bo Jeremy Drive.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. But who is you? About what kind of information? Something my home or for buy my property?
I wanted to buy your property. I want to buy it.
Oh no. I stay in my home. No, the foreclosure is stopping now.
Oh, you stopped.
1 month ago.
Oh, you stopped the
All right.
foreclosure. Okay. Okay. Well, that sounds good.
I think, yeah, so I am okay. See, only if you have a little call for this man, I can speak you very well. Okay.
You got it. No, it sounds good. You speak perfectly. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right. Bye-bye. He saved his home. Good for him. Good for him.
For calling the Dr. P. Phillips Inpatient Pharmacy. If this is an emergency, please press 1. If you're looking for a medication, press 2.
Yeah, that is the wrong number. That's for sure.
If you're calling Women's Care Specialist, please choose from the following list.
Okay, so it's
This mailbox is not currently accepting messages because voicemail has not yet been activated. Phoebe, this is Denise.
yeah. Hello, Denise. My name is Ben. I'm not sure if you've been getting phone calls about your property on Landbur Street.
Landlover, I sold it already.
Landlubber. Oh, you sold it already. Okay.
Yes. already
Okay. Well,
sold.
thank you for taking my call. Thanks.
Yep. Have a good
Likewise. She sold it. She sold it already. Okay. Okay. So that's how you make a phone call. Just
I'm sorry. The number you have dialed has a voicemail box or other services.
so yeah, I'm making some cold calls so you guys can kind of see what the dynamic here is. And I'm hitting some correct people, but most of them they're not correct. So there you go. Let's see. Let's see. It's still dialing here. So I'm going to continue to let it call here, but we're going to wrap up the video. So if I get interrupted because of a phone call, excuse me. But let's wrap up the video and say that retiring with creative retirement strategies is really, really. Hello, how are you, Selma?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, Selma. This is Ben. I was calling you back about your property on Turnberry Court. Wanting to see if you were still planning on selling that property.
Falando comigo como se eu fosse meu amigo íntimo. Estou falando sobre a sua casa, é o Ben.
No, I think she was speaking or something. I don't know. And she hung up. Okay. So it is the best way to retire because the power of combining creative retirement strategies with creative real estate finance gives you two powers that man, you just can't compare. When you do real estate, if you're just doing real estate and you just do creative financing, that is like so awesome. But when you when you combine creative retirement strategies
Please leave your message for
together with creative real estate, then you really can grow exponentially right away. The only reason why people don't use it is because it is so hard to be on the phones like I'm doing right now. That is the reason why I'm on the phones all the time and I make these videos, because it is so hard for people to do that, and people won't do it. Hello?
How you doing?
Yeah, Steven?
No.
Oh, not Steven. Sorry about that.
No problem.
So they just don't want to get on the phone, and and so they rather do something easier. So let me see here.
Call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system. 94122888054 is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
So yeah, I got interrupted more than hello,
Please leave your message for 7.
more than I was anticipating, but that is my take on it. I think that you can retire with a lot more ease and a lot more peace of mind if you use the power of creative real estate investing. It's not enough to say real estate investing, in my opinion, but you can do creative real estate investing. Now, passive real estate investing is another way that that you can do it, and that is just partnering with somebody like me, and you can be passive while we're buying creative real estate, and I do all the transaction and stuff, so that you are able to just be completely hands off, completely passive. You don't have to do a thing, and so we can partner that way. So if that suits you, reach out to me and let me know what you think. Go ahead and comment below. Let me know your thoughts. And if you want to participate in some of these deals, yesterday or the previous video, we got a commercial building. And this guy is like, he just wants out. And that's what we want to see in commercial real estate as well. Motivated seller, off market motivated seller. So reach out to me. See you next time. Thank you for being here. Goodbye.